Here's what's happening right now. No mistaking this for Valentine's Day. Sunshine's gone, the warm temperatures are too, but we'll show you a big improvement in the end of the forecast. Kim?
Okay, Ben, also first at 4, tribute to a Detroit icon. Sky 4 is over the Fox Theater right now, where fans are paying their respects to Mike Ilitch. We'll have a live report. But at first, a surprising discovery inside a Detroit home. 4 children removed from a house as state police deal with a hazmat situation. First at 4 starts right now.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kimberly Gill in today for Karen Drew. First at 4, a surprising discovery in a neighborhood in Detroit inside a home that looked just like the rest of the homes there on the block. State police raided the home on Detroit's west side. In the basement, they say they found a fentanyl lab being used to make heroin and painkillers. Upstairs, they say they found 4 children. Their father was arrested. The children are now staying with their mother. State police treated the lab as a hazmat situation because the raw drug materials are very dangerous. We'll have a live update from the scene coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. Detroit Police Chief James Craig released more details today about the officer-involved shooting Monday that killed a 19-year-old man. Police say the man was fleeing from officers in a stolen car when he crashed into a building. The suspect then fled on foot and was chased down by a DPD officer. After a struggle, the officer shot and killed the man. Chief Craig said today the officer shot the suspect because he thought he had a gun.
And what was described to us was that the officer believed at one point during the foot pursuit that the suspect was grabbing his waistline, and he believed that the suspect could have possibly armed himself.
Chief Craig says both DPD and Michigan State Police are investigating the shooting, and the investigation should be completed by Monday. Flint Mayor Karen Weaver is striking back after Governor Snyder decided to end water credits a month early. At a press conference this afternoon, Weaver repeatedly criticized the Snyder administration's decision to no longer help residents and the city with their water bills. It's a move that will save the state more than $2 million per month. Weaver also acknowledged the administration's decision to give only a 2-week notice was not fair to the community.
At the top of my list was trying to get those water credits extended for the people of the city of Flint. I just think that was something that would have shown some continued goodwill, that we were working together to move Flint forward on this issue. I don't think 2 weeks was enough notice for people to be prepared for this. So I'm just really greatly disappointed and angry about that resolution.
Governor Snyder has yet to respond to Mayor Weaver's comments. Now to the public memorial for a Detroit icon. At this hour, the Fox Theater is hosting a tribute to businessman Mike Ilitch. Many people are stopping by to pay their respects. Our Steve Garagiola has been across from the theater all day long. And Steve, what's the reaction been from people that you've talked to?
Well, Kim, I guess I've heard the pretty much same thing from so many people. They just wanted to say thank you. A steady stream this afternoon here at the Fox Theater. This is the front of the theater, the front of the Fox, under the big marquee. There are no people lined up here because they're using this as an exit. People are going in along the side of the building. So let me show you some of what we saw earlier this afternoon. The longest lines happened at around lunchtime, which is understandable. Many people in the downtown offices walking over here to the Fox Theater to pay their respects. Many of them never even met Mike Ilitch, but those who did know him and worked with him or worked for him share the same sentiment. He was a competitor. He wanted to win at whatever he did, but he cared so much about the people around him.
Mr. Ilitch loved his family, loved his wife, of course, loved his businesses, loved his people in the businesses, and loved Detroit. So that's what he represents to me.
His vision of Detroit, when things went bad here, everyone moved out. He moved in. He moved his headquarters downtown and had a vision of what downtown Detroit could be again. And you know, now we're here.
Yeah, and now we're here, and of course that big beautiful arena going in just up the street. Today it's bitter cold, it's windy, it's snowing. You didn't even know the man, so why are you here? I asked that question of so many people this afternoon, and the answers say an awful lot about Mike Ilitch. I'll share that with you coming up at 5 o'clock. Reporting live outside the Fox Theater, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
All right, we'll be looking forward to that, Steve. Thanks very much. Well, we have seen some snow flurries today, but we're just days away from a big warm-up. Let's check in with Ben Bailey with your forecast, Ben.
And it looked like we were sailing into spring, but a little speed bump that we got to get through here. And yes, there are snowflakes out there, Kim. So far, they've been flurries, but when you start looking at the visibilities here north of Detroit, they've started to drop. So these snow showers have become a little bit more intense, especially across Genesee and parts of Oakland County. So keep that in mind for afternoon commuters, especially north of 696. Even colder tonight. And what we saw earlier this morning by about 10 degrees. We'll look at those lows. Tough to script a weekend any better, especially for this time in February. And no stopping the goodness as we get into next week. Some incredible numbers in the 7-day forecast. That's all ahead in a few minutes. Kim?
Okay, Ben. Breaking news to tell you about right now. One of President Trump's cabinet picks won't be confirmed. Businessman Andrew Puzder just released a statement saying he's withdrawing his bid to become labor secretary. NBC News reports a growing number of Republicans were withdrawing their support. Puzder's statement coming in within the last few moments. We'll have an update coming up on our 5 o'clock newscast. Meanwhile, President Trump hosted one of America's most critical allies at the White House, but even the visit of Israel's prime minister isn't stopping the barrage of questions about a scandal connected to Russia. Devin Skillion is live in the newsroom. Devin, peace in the Middle East is a big deal, but it's kind of being overshadowed a little bit here.
It was a bit, Kimberly, even as President Trump tries to chart a new course to resolve the longstanding conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians. He, of course, facing controversy at home amid growing calls for an independent investigation into the relationship between the Trump administration and Russia. During a news conference with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the president asked Israel to hold back on new settlements in the West Bank. He said he is not committed to a two-state solution to get a peace deal, but there are so many questions swirling about the scandal toward his team's contacts with Russian officials during and after the presidential election. Scandal cost National Security Advisor Michael Flynn his job. Democrats want an independent investigation. The president and some Republicans seem more concerned right now about how the information about those contacts with Russia has been made public.
I think it's very, very unfair what's happened to General Flynn, the way he was treated, and the documents and papers that were illegally, I stress that, illegally leaked. Very, very unfair.
Every report that suggests deeper ties between the Trump campaign and the Russian government needs to be followed up on and verified.
With one party in control of the White House and Congress, remains to be seen if enough Republicans will support this idea of an independent investigation. An update from Washington coming up on all this on Local 4 News at 5. Kim, back to you.
Okay, we'll see you in just a bit, Devin. Thank you. And more news first at 4. We are on top of stories making headlines around the world. U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis is reaffirming America's commitment to NATO during his first meeting with defense ministers in Brussels. The chief of NATO says spending by Canada and European nations has increased by $10 billion, but he says it's not enough. During the election, President Trump had been critical of other nations, saying they have to do more to pay their share. Well, now Mattis is reassuring our allies NATO has the strong support of the Trump White House. We have an unusual story out of Brazil with the photos here to prove it. Prison guards say they caught a pigeon trying to deliver a cell phone to inmates. The evidence is right there on your screen. Guards thought something was suspicious when they noticed inmates trying to catch the bird. Once the guard grabbed the pigeon, they found a small pouch that contained a cell phone and a battery. If you're worried about younger drivers behind the wheel, you have good reason to be concerned. That's according to a new study from AAA. It found 88% of young millennials engaged in at least one risky behavior behind the wheel. The study comes as U.S. traffic deaths increased more than 7% in 2015. That's the largest single-year increase in 5 decades. Evrod Cassimy spoke to local drivers and found distracted driving is a growing concern.
Now, this study targets younger millennials and their behaviors behind the wheel. So we set out to talk to people in Detroit's Campus Martius area to find out if there's any truth behind it.
I don't think I'm a bad driver. I feel like I'm a pretty good driver.
Ask any millennial and they'll probably say the same thing about their driving habits. But according to AAA, that's not so true. In fact, a new survey found younger millennials are the worst behaved drivers. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I can probably agree, only because of the texting and the constant distractions going on in their lives.
Millennials are ages 13 to 34. Younger millennial drivers surveyed range in age from 19 to 24. They admitted to some of these constant distractions like texting while driving, running red lights, and speeding. I'm a millennial driver. Do you think I'm a bad driver?
No, I don't believe that you're necessarily a bad driver, but I'm just saying the younger generation now, they're so used to everything just being so instant. So if their phone rings or if they get a text, they have to answer it immediately.
Text I really try to avoid. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, if we're sitting in like absolute dead stop traffic, I'll check a text.
Well, why do you think it doesn't affect some of the older people as well, or do you think it does?
Well, I don't know if a lot of older people necessarily is as important to them to be on their phones or checking their social media or things like that. I'm just a mature adult.
You're saying we're immature?
Maybe sometimes.
And no matter what their age group, everyone that we spoke with agreed on one thing when it came to distracted driving: it can wait. And while you're behind the wheel, there's one thing that you should be focusing on: the open road. In Detroit, Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
Thanks, Evrod. Still ahead, first at 4, supermodel Kate Upton scores another Sports Illustrated cover. We have reaction from her Detroit Tigers fiance. Imagine seeing water the color of blood flowing through a creek in your neighborhood. The story behind this mystery is also ahead. But at first, disturbing research on soccer players and brain disease. Plus, one thing women can do to fight the effects of menopause, including hot flashes. Good health is next.
Born with coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
His story inspiring, his strength amazing. A young shooting victim finally getting the help he needs, and now a local judge wants to give him a big honor. Our story tonight, starting at 5.
All right, in good health, a new reason for women to keep moving after menopause. Researchers followed a group of sedentary middle-aged women who completed a 20-week exercise program. Participants said exercise made them feel better mentally and physically, with fewer hot flashes and more positive moods. The women were also more likely to maintain a healthy weight compared to less active peers. For the first time, researchers have found evidence of a devastating brain disease in retired soccer players. Researchers in the UK examined the brains of 6 former soccer players with dementia after their deaths. All 6 showed signs of Alzheimer's disease, and 4 also had signs of CTE, the degenerative brain condition that's been linked to repetitive head trauma. Previous research has found evidence of CTE in the brains of other athletes, including those in boxing, football, and hockey. All right, let's get you caught up on your forecast. You warned us this was coming. It's still kind of a shock to the system after yesterday, though.
You know, and it's funny because we're just now back to average.
Right, this is what it should be.
Yeah, but don't worry, because the real February is going away, and we're going to get something in here that's going to be incredibly fantastic towards the end of the forecast. But we haven't seen these temperatures move all day. 29, 30, 31. Those are our 3 choices of temperatures for the entire day at Metro Airport. The rest of the area, upper 20s here north of 8 Mile, and that is supporting snow showers that we showed you at the top of the show. Wind chills also in the teens. Doesn't look like those are going to go much of anywhere, as temperatures will fall tonight to match those numbers, but the winds will start diminishing at that time. So it's still going to feel probably like it's 15 to 20 for most of the nighttime hours tonight. We've got that patch of snow showers on top of us and becoming a little bit more intense, although still not really going to produce much in the way of accumulation. And once that exits, we expect that those snow showers will dry up probably by mid-evening tonight. We'll be looking at mostly cloudy skies from there on out, and that's going to take us into tomorrow. We're going to start the warm-up tomorrow, barely. We'll call it 32 in the afternoon, which is a little bit better than what we did today, but with colder temperatures in the morning, at least those numbers have room to run. We will get some sunshine by the tail end of tomorrow, and then that's going to carry over into most of the upcoming 7-day forecast, with those temperatures not only getting back above average, but maybe even near record territory in some cases. We'll check that out in a minute. Here are the lows tonight, though. These are going to be about 10 degrees colder than what we saw last night. 21 in the city, 19 in Southfield. West Bloomfield, you'll be in the upper teens for lows tomorrow. And then as we look at the South Zone, pretty much same goes here, 19 or 20 for lows overnight. North of Michigan Avenue in our West Zone, 18 to 19. Keep in mind, we're going to have a lot of clouds out there, so these lows are going to be pretty tightly clustered together. Even some of our coldest spots, not a whole lot different than what we're seeing further south. Maybe as cold as 16 up here in Marlette and Sandusky, but by far the coldest that we'll have to contend with in the upcoming forecast. Just peaking above freezing in the afternoon once we get those teens out of here tomorrow morning. Put down your phones, put down your iPads, come look at this. I'll step out of the way so you can check this out. Look at those numbers over the weekend. 57 degrees on Saturday, 54 on Sunday. On President's Day Monday, we'll call it 58 here in the city. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 60-degree reading down in our south zone. And even with some slightly cooler numbers next week, they're still going to be well above average. Tuesday's our only chance of precipitation, so this is all dry, all coming with sunshine, and it is going to be a gorgeous weekend ahead. Kim.
Okay, Ben, still ahead. Taco Bell is offering something new for $600. It's something for taco lovers who are also in love. Up first, though, neighbors couldn't believe what they were seeing. A creek that suddenly turned blood red. The story behind this mystery is revealed. But first, as we head to break, here's a look at how the markets closed today. All the arrows are pointing up and green. The Dow is up more than 100 points. The NASDAQ up about 37 and the S&P 500 up nearly 12. Welcome back. Neighbors are concerned about this creek that suddenly turned red. It happened near Fort Myers, Florida. Residents feared it was pollution and a safety hazard. But it turns out a local water treatment plant was using red dye to check for leaks in cooling towers at a local hospital. Well, that water ended up in a drain pipe that poured into the creek. Experts say the dye is harmless, but environmental officials are still keeping an eye on the cleanup, just in case. In today's trending stories, Taco Bell has a new item on the menu and it costs $600. It's actually a wedding ceremony at the new chapel inside Taco Bell's Cantina restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip. The $600 includes someone to perform the ceremony, a private reception, a taco 12-pack, and Cinnabon Delights cake. The bride also receives a garter and a bouquet made of sauce packets. The weddings begin this summer. I can hear the folks already running the lineup for that.
If you can get married for $600 no matter where it is, I think
well, that's true. I mean, I think it's a little expensive for Taco Bell, but it's a lot better than what a lot of people spend. We'll say that in Vegas. All right. Also trending today, Michigan's own Kate Upton is on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition on stands today. The supermodel made the cover for the third time. She made the cover in 2012 and 2013. There are 3 versions of the cover. The other 2 are a little more revealing, though this one looks pretty revealing, I think. But she is, if you don't know, is engaged to Detroit Tiger Justin Verlander. He tweeted his congratulations, calling her incredible. I can see how he would say that.
He's a lucky man.
Yeah, I can see how he would say that. All right, and finally, many children and their parents are talking about this guy. American Girl is releasing its first boy doll. His name is Logan Everett. He's a drummer and comes with a drum set. Logan plays alongside his female singer-songwriter friend Tenny Grant, who's also a new character. Both dolls will be released tomorrow. American Girl says it plans to launch a wide range of dolls this year, promoting diverse personalities and experiences. And they cost a lot of money, too. Get your pocketbooks ready to go. Still ahead, why so many people are stopping in front of this house to take photos. If you look really closely here, you might guess the reason why they're stopping to take those photos. We'll have a story when we come back.
Selling.
All right, finally, first at 4, you've seen houses made of wood, bricks, cement, all sorts of materials. But how about champagne bottles?
It was not in the Three Little Pigs story. From the Strange But True file, check out this house. It's made of 12,000 empty bottles of bubbly. A Russian man spent 2 years collecting the bottles and building the home.
My goodness, look at that. And it looks like they're all kind of similar. I don't know. The Champagne House has become a local landmark there, apparently. We're told it looks like a regular house. Just take a look there. It's got windows and everything, a roof. It does. From a distance, it looks like a regular house. On the inside, The builder's son and daughter-in-law plan to move in. And on the inside, it also looks like a regular house, too. I think it looks like it on the outside from a distance.
I bet that gets really hot when the sun shines.
Oh, you're right. That's a good point from a weatherman.
People in glass houses shouldn't build glass.
Watch out. Thanks for joining us. First at 4, we're back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5. Inside Edition is coming up next.